How can we behave like adults if we continue to act like children? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The name of my speech today is A Child in an Adult's Body. And you're most probably thinking, what the heck is he going to talk about? Be patient, all will be revealed. I'd like to cover 3 points. The first one, I'd like to explain what I mean by a child in an adult's body. Number 2, I would like to give you some examples of how a child acts in an adult's body. And then number 3, I would like to offer a solution to suppress the naughty child in the adult's body. While I'm talking, if you could reflect back into your own life, maybe as a child, and just notice how you acted as a child when things didn't go well. How did you try to get your own way? So throughout the talk, just reflect back and think. Great, let's begin. Number 1, what do I mean by a child in an adult's body? Quite simply, what I'm referring to is communication. How does a child communicate? How does an adult communicate? Think back to when you were a child. So go back now. When things did not go well, how did you communicate? How did you get your own way? Did you cry? No, it's not fair. Did you get very angry and scream and shout? Did you become violent and grab what you want and push people out of the way? How did you react as a child? So just think for one moment. Great. Now move forward to the present day today as an adult. Now I'll ask you to reflect one more time. In your life now, do you ever see that same child coming up in your body, your adult body, and try to communicate in a not so good way? If the answer is yes, you are suffering from what they call reflexive thinking. It's not too bad. Reflexive thinking is when we develop a habit in our body as a child, and then as an adult, things go tough and hard, and we react very quickly, and the habits in our body come straight up. So, if I'm an adult and I'm confronted with a problem, all of a sudden I want to react, so I feel that child, that angry child coming up inside my body. That's what I mean by reflexive thinking. So let's think of some examples. The angry child in an adult's body, how would it act? Sometimes we modify the behaviour, but we still see adults that get very angry. You may have seen adults yourself who throw their hands around and scream and shout. They don't modify the behaviour at all. Violent adult. I'm sure you've seen violence with adults. Fighting, pushing people out of the way, using violent language. I remember a lady down in Saigon in District 1. She was on the phone. She must have been about 35 years old. She was talking on the phone. And I saw her face. She wasn't happy. And halfway through the conversation, she started stamping her foot. No! That's the action of a child. A child does that sort of thing. No, stamps their foot. So I knew straight away that was reflexive thinking. She just reverted straight back to her child habits. As Toastmasters, our main objective is to perfect our communication. So, if that child in us comes up, we want to suppress it as quickly as possible so we can communicate effectively. So my question to you is there a solution to this problem?
Yes.
Yes, of course. There's always a solution. Always a solution.
Yoga.
So what's the solution?
We're going to know.
Yoga?
Come closer. Come closer. The solution is awareness. That's all. Become aware. So when the problem arises, you feel that angry child coming up inside you. At that split second, just be aware of what's happening. Okay, I feel the anger, I feel the violence, I feel the sad sulkiness coming up inside. Then you have a chance to make a decision. Will I react like the child, or will I act like an adult? As Toastmasters, we want to suppress the child. We want to act like an adult and communicate more effectively. So next time that happens, just take a breath, stop before you react. Choose the higher road. So next time you suspect reflexive thinking is starting to well up in your body, instead of reacting like a child, act like an adult. Mr. Toastmaster.